Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid and we are playing Middle-Age Rlyeh. So let's summarize what happened last episode. Last episode, yes, completely exhausted themselves against me. They rode the main army into my god. My god killed them all. They rode a raiding party into my main army. My main army killed that. We're going to be going on top of Yes's capital now, and we're going to try to capitalize on kind of killing them. We were going to split them 50-50 with Oceania. Oceania had agreed, signed a non-aggression pact, and then nullified it with us, which they were very adamant they weren't breaking it. I to be honest, I don't exactly care. I just think that they should have taken my side because it made sense. But anyway, they're committed to fighting, and this turn they're riding into our fort. So before we get to that, though, we have a summoning. And it was successful. And we got 4 of these things, which are quite nice. We're going to go ahead. They're not super mobile. They're nice mind blasters. But really the best thing these guys are for is for guarding my commander. So they'll guard them. And then hopefully there's a chance that we win if we get assassinated. Though I kind of would rather do like summon water elementals. Like once I have Conjuration 3, I put 2 water gems on this guy. I think I have a much better shot, and then maybe Evocation 2. I think I have a much better shot at killing things I find in the void. We also have Cthulhu. I don't remember when I announced that, but we got this guy. This guy's obviously sick. Taskmaster 3, huge amount of magic leadership. Summoning skill 5. This would be really nice, but we don't want to risk losing Cthulhu. Most importantly, Astro 5. This is a chassis you would wish for. It's a super high value guy. Right now, we're really just going to be using him for research. It's a nice little research boon. We also got one of the star spawn we recruited earlier. We really wanted like an Earth random to go out and site search. Like Earth and Glamour would be perfect to go out and site search. But here we got a Glamour Astral. Okay, let's start. Let's see what Oceania attacks us with. So he's got a bunch of these Myrmidians here in the middle. Now these guys are really, really good. They're formation fighters, so you can see there's 4 per tile. They're very spooky. They have a very high damage trident. They have good defense skill. They have good attack skill. They have recuperation, so they accumulate experience stars quite well. They have wonderful protection, good hit points, good strength, great MR. They're a very, very solid troop. And then these guys are, of course, amazing as well. They're really, really solid. And with an Ethereal Bless, they really do just kind of blender my guys. We'll look at these guys with the Bless on. So 16 defense, 12 protection. You can see there's not a ton of stats happening here, but once they have Blood Surge triggered, they become rather killy. So they take this, they lose a couple guys, and we're out all the money it took us for 33 PD. Though that 33 PD did help block, like it killed some of their guys. So this is a smaller doomstack than it would have been. And I was really hoping the scouting report was lying and there weren't 200 guys here. Well, at least the scouting report wasn't underestimating how many when it was saying 200. Like it could have been there's 300. Thank God that's not the case. 185, though, is a lot closer to 200 than I was hoping. I was hoping it was closer to like 100 guys. So this is big, a big doomstack. It's going to be very hard for us to kill. There's a few guys here, but nobody's really moved in behind. We'll watch the battles here in Yis. So we're attacking Yis's capital. And Yis doesn't really defend here. They've just led us onto their capital, which that means Yis has accepted their fate that they are indeed very dead. Because they are fucked. They're fucked. I don't think it would be exceptionally hard to pilot their way out of this situation. And then we move here into Lake Fortune with our army. Yep. Summoning was successful. We got 2 things from beyond. Oh, that's already accounted for. Yeah, so that's that. So here's the question. We've gathered up this big army. Can I take this big army with what's actually quite a lot of mages? We've got a lot of mages here. Can we take them and kill these guys? Like, take these dudes who are here, break siege, take these guys, all roll out and fight. Because we've got, if you look at it, a lot of guys. We got some slave guardians here at the back. We got in total about, what is this? 70 something slave guardians combined with, how many illithids do we have? Around 27, 30 maybe illithids. Can we take this out? The answer is no. The answer is no. If they attack us here, we have a bit of PD that will kind of help the shark tribe. But even then, there's a chance that they move off this fort and attack into us, we would have lost. However, we're just going to kind of preach, site search, and wait. And basically, next turn when they attack, or well, here's the other thing. They didn't quite break my walls halfway. Now, there's no Dominion here, but they have within them a fair number of priests. The priests this turn weren't preaching. If they preach next turn, they'll be even less close to halfway breaking through it. If they somehow had reinforcements here, like maybe they were moving it from a fort or something down here, if they had reinforcements, then they could put it over the edge. But I'm kind of thinking here, so here, I'll show you. We're moving this guy with some more earth gems I've alchemized. And then the thought is like, okay, next turn we ride out. And I'm moving these guys here. We've got a bunch more illithids showing up. And these guys, which were on kind of catch Morvark duty, are going to be making their way back up. We're on top of, yes, this fort's finished. We're going to be moving these guys on top of this fort. We want to lock this down. We don't want Yes making mages or troops or anything they can use to fight us off their cap. We're moving the illithids and the meteorite guard, though, back on top of the capital. And if Yes chooses to ride out, maybe with something that would have been aimed to kill our god, free hugs, instead of finding our god there, he's going to find a bunch of illithids, which will zap the shit out of him, and then these guys will tear them apart. We're going to go ahead and move the god over this way and probably take the god down, boop, 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 and then start attacking Oceania. It's kind of the plan. I go over here, put this under siege. So yeah, that's basically it for this turn. I will show you, let me show you one of the test games. Let's see how big this army is. This army is a 185. Okay, so this is one of the test games. I think this is for like a turn or two from now when Oceania reinforces, because here we've got about 61 sacreds. And we're going to attack. Now, this is what I have figured out. Here's what I figured out from this. Is that, first of all, I was doing this in the middle. And what happens is it's very hard to protect my flanks. And if either one of these flanks break, like if I had some guys here and some guys here, if one of these side breaks and then they can get in to get my mages, it's pretty easy for them to call a retreat. And if my guys retreat, we're boned. So, yeah, that's not good. So what we're going to try to do here... Oh, I have actually fucked that all up. One second. Let me quit without saving. Okay. What we're going to try to do is put these guys in the corner. We have to also have these guys to attack rear. And their whole job is just to catch lances. And if they catch lances, hopefully the blood surge will have bled off by the time these guys get here. One of the things, like the failure modes, is they blow up my front line. And then basically after my front line starts routing, we're screwed. So if they can kill even a couple guys in the first round with their lance charge and then they get blood surge, they're much more killy and much more likely to kill my guys. If I can get rid of even like half the lances, it's really a nice boon. It also is going to slightly delay, maybe by like a round, when the Aphori Cav get in, which gives us a larger opportunity to paint buffs. Here you can see we've got, it looks like 8 gems casting Stone Skin. We got another guy casting Bark Skin. And I think this is for a later turn, because I don't think this would be an option for us this current turn. But we'll just show you kind of how this goes to give you an understanding. Hopefully we lose here, because I swear to God, every single time I ran this test, I was like losing until I like figured out all these weird little things about how to win this matchup. And here, getting rid of a lot of these lances was really important. Like, these guys' lances are all busted up. Now, what happens, the real risk is that, like, if half of this squad dies and they break, which is what would tend to happen, then we get wrecked. Now, this makes it look like I knew what I was doing, because this is one of the later... this is the script I had come up with after, honestly, over the course of several turns. We're going to go through all those turns here. I probably had spent like 10 hours testing, trying different things. Like, should I bring the slave guardians? No slave guardians. How many? What if I put them on a flank? What if I put the mages on the slave guardians? How many illithids should I bring? This is more than I think we have at the moment. And there's a bunch of things that factor into this. The other thing is right here, this is in our dominion, so we get a morale bonus. In all likelihood, we're going to be fighting a neutral or enemy dominion, because right now they're on top of my fort. I don't have a temple there, and they have priests, so they can preach in it. And that morale penalty is actually a huge deal on these guys. And we had profited this guy so that we could give this leadership bonus to these dudes, and we could put them in line formation and stuff. But anyway, the important thing for me to communicate is that this army right here from Oceania would raffle stomp my army of like these sort of things. Like if I brought the 50 slave guardians, insta loss. If I didn't put them in the corner, insta loss. If I bring too many illithids, insta loss. If it's in my dominion, I mean, if it's in their dominion instead of mine, which is like what we have in the test game, it gets much, much more dicey. If I don't bring enough mages, insta loss. If I have too few illithids, insta loss. There's a lot of ways this thing can work. Like you can't thug this with just like 10 illithids, I don't think. Like you need a critical mass, because the other thing is these guys are going to tire out. It's just really complicated. It took a ton of permutations to find something that could reliably kill this. And anyway, we kind of have come up with it. But unfortunately, the thing we came up with isn't available in our current turn. So let's go ahead and go to turn 18, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, turn 18. Wait, didn't this already happen? This is turn 18. Okay, let's go to turn 19. We've already seen this one. This is when they went on top of my guys. Okay, turn 19. We searched, didn't find anything. We attack here in Ysian land, and this is their fort. I might have changed this up because I think maybe before I had the slave guardians here, but I think I switched the slave guardians to going back on Yis's cap. Here we have Oceania attacking us in the Moon Sea. I think there's a ping. So he's going to get a full scout of my setup, which this is what he saw. So this gives him a pretty good idea of what I'm planning, which is basically buff these guys. We attack Yis here. I believe this is with our god. And there's one lone Morvark here that it must have retreated from a previous fight. And that Morvark is now dead. We've upgraded to Mind Burn. So our god, as he runs forward, is mind burning stuff. Oceania attacks us here. This is a ping also to see what's on top of this fort. And he sees a bunch of PD. And then we are pinging them to see what's all present. And we can see he's changed his formation. These used to be like box formations, 3 box formations, and now it looks like it's a single line formation of Myrmidians. And they've got, take a look at the commander situation here. So they've got a bunch of these Hierophants. I think most of these are water randoms. There's one nature random. And then this guy, or gal, the Halide, and a Siren. I think that's about it. So this guy's got a water gem, presumably for lesser water elementals, but that's what we're dealing with there. So here's the thing. Do we attack this turn? No, I ran the test. We still get our ass kicked. What are we going to need? We're going to need a lot more Earth Gems. So I've just been burning Astral, turning them into Earth. We're bringing a fuck ton of Earth Gems. We're bringing more Illithids. We're bringing these mages. And we're bringing, like I said, all the Earth Gems. And we're bringing Water Gems too, so that I can have non-Water 2s cast Quickness. We're also attacking here this turn. And we're pinging here. There's a bunch of guys, presumably these guys are going to go reinforce. He does see I have a lot of guys here. And while you saw from that test game, like it makes it look real easy. Like I said, I was getting the shit stomped out of me many, many times. So it's likely he thinks that's what's going to happen. Because most of the ways I tested, I did get the shit stomped out of me. The other thing is numbers do matter. If he gets a big enough army, he'll raffle stomp me again, even if I have like this thing set up well. This is like very finicky that this wins. We've switched to making Illithids, lords, and Lobo Guards so we can start sieging down these forts. Lobo Guards are exceptionally efficient. 50 of these guys, led by one of these, is 73 siege strength thereabout, or 70 siege strength. So they're phenomenally efficient at it. So anyway, we're going to start having this choo-choo train come down. We're going to have our god move south. There's a Yizian druid here, so hopefully we can kill them. And we have pushed through Yis until we have come back to Oceania again. So we're actually going to raid into Oceania here. These guys should be fine unless he does a pretty big PD dump. And we'll just leave a guy up top. Basically, we just want to distract Oceania from like two all-inning this front. This is going to make them like divide their forces, PD dump here in the back, all this shit. But it's also going to mean that this Yisian land is going to become contested between me and Oceania. So it's pretty bloody. So we're moving down here. We've got a big pile of guys to kill Yis. And we're starting to move Lobo Guard down. We also have these guys here. I figured these would be pretty helpful to like storm. You could have them on like hold an attack or something. I don't know if they might be too low morale. They'll of course be better on this guy, but we also need mages. I don't know exactly what we need. Probably we just need Meteorite Guard with a bunch of quickness painted. I mean, body ethereal painted on them on attack rear with like a Lobo Guard screen. But taking this fort will be really nice. It's going to allow me to much more easily start projecting control in this area, start making more siege chaff to burn through Yis. The fort of Yis has 1,500 wall integrity. I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? It's going to take me literally all game to crack it. So, not very excited about that. God is moving south. We basically need to secure income to pay for all these PD dumps we've been doing. So yeah, I think that's basically it for this turn. Let's go ahead, log into the next turn, and see what happens. Okay, it's turn 20, and we have gotten this Bear Claw Talisman back from Asphodel, so that's very nice. Thank you, Kirby. We summoned 2 Dwellers in the Deep. Those are these guys. They can move, and they do Mind Blast. They have a Life Drain attack and a Paralyzed attack. They're kind of cool. They're very slow, though. So we're going to put 1 extra on Guard Commander, and let's take a look at what happened. We attack here with these guys. Okay, we take this province back. We ping Blue Waters to see what's here, and it's 61 of 4-eye. This is what you saw in the test game. It was basically set up for this. But there's more stuff coming in. There's also a big pile of F4-eye, Triton Guard, and Myrmidian here. So we're going to deal with probably like 10 more of 4-eye and probably like 10 more Myrmidian. Probably 6 of 4-eye, 10 Myrmidian, and then 20 trash. So anyway, we're going to talk about that real quick after we look at the rest of the battles. Here we attack into Oceania. We're successful. We lose 1 Meteorite Guard. And here we attack into the Broken Ocean. And there's 2 more Morvarks. Oh, beautiful. These Morvarks retreated and nobody's been able to pick them up. That's perfect. I think we might have killed that guy on the retreat. Yeah. So we didn't get the Druid, but we got the Morvark Knights. Okay, so let's look. We have now pushed through into Oceania's backline. You can see there's a bunch of sirens here. We could attack, but this is Oceania's cap circle. This is a really dangerous province to raid because he'll have sacreds and stuff in his cap he could use to like defend this. This is really dangerous because he can just have a couple mages patrolling here with a PD dump and with like water elementals that would ruin these guys. So what we're going to do, there's a chance he raids by using like a few of these guys summoning water elementals. So we've done a fair amount of PD, and this is, again, as is on theme for this playthrough, Shark Tribe. This fucking ocean is filled to the brim with Shark Tribe. So it's a good PD type to PD dump. And this is like a small PD dump, really just going to be designed to kill like 3 or 4 mages. They're going to be trying to like counteract or like counter raid. I don't know, counter raid. That are trying to raid with water elemental summons. This hopefully is enough to do that. Shark Tribe are really good against water elementals too, because water elementals don't have protection. and these guys do a ton of damage. We're going to raid up here, try to take this off. Yes. We're going to be moving this down here. I'm a little bit less excited. I was kind of hoping there was no fort here, and then I could come through here and raid. I'm not really excited about moving my god on top of a fort. So anyway, that's what's happening here. We've still got these guys piled up, and we've got just an army train moving south of Lobo Guard to start popping through these forts. The other thing that's news, we're going to talk about attacking Fidel here. Not Fidel, Oceania here. Ashdod, so my neighbor on this side is Shinuyama, whose capital is right here. Ashdod, I don't know if it was this turn or the previous turn, has like killed Shinuyama. Shinuyama sort of struggled, failed expansion. Ashdod has a quickness regen bless. They just ran over them. Asphodel has decided, okay, I don't like Ashdod being big. My vine things are pretty good against Anakites. Let's attack them. And they elfed Ashdod, whose capital is here, and apparently has a lot of their cap circle. So things are pretty bad. Like on one hand, Ashdod has successfully taken Shinuyama's cap. So they're 2 caps, but they're in this like war with Asphodel. Not now, but before I killed Yis's big army, I had tried to get Yis to peace out. So this was like here, I was like, why are we doing this? Can we not do this? Like Asphodel is going to spiral out of control like crazy. Let's just make peace. How about if we all 3 make peace? Like, I understand you probably don't want to betray Oceania. If we all 3 make peace, we can go attack land people and stop these guys from spiraling out of control. Yis asked Oceania. Oceania said no, they wanted to fight. You know, you can take a horse to water, guys. You can't make them drink. We cannot make Oceania drink from the fountain of salvation. They are going to... They're in a death pact with us, apparently. We're like, they're going to try to take both of us out of the game. So I don't know how they think this is going to be an easy win. And I've been super open to all sorts of diplomacy. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I then sort of told Yes, like, okay, look, man, if you offered Oceania peace, but he still wants to fight, like, there's nothing, like, clearly, this was before I killed his armies. Now that I killed his armies, I'm not interested in peace with him. Because he's just trash. I mean, like, he's just, it's a rump state now. Like, he has no ability to protect himself. So there's not really much point in allying him. I'd rather eat him. And, I mean, quite frankly, I'll be happy, like, in another game to hopefully have, like, a really fresh, good start with this player. Like, hopefully we can be friends, draw swords together and all that. But I am a little put off at how death pacty these guys were of trying to kill me. Like, I'm not super keen on being friendly to them after I've killed their armies. Anyway, before that had happened, Yes had already lost a lot of stuff. We could have just made peace and they could have gone and eaten land nations. I think that would have been smart for them. Oceania didn't want to. That gave Yes a very good option to back out. We could have then tag teamed up against Oceania. Oceania would, I think, be basically guaranteed to be dead if we both turned on them. I think this is the thing, and I don't think they realize this, but this is an important thing to realize, is that if you're in a position where you can't 2v1 someone, I think players will sometimes think, oh, therefore we should 2v1 them. Because, like, if we can't do it now, then, like, we're going to be fucked later. I don't think that's necessarily true. Clearly, it's better, like, it's better to survive and get big and come back at it when you can tackle the problem. You have some key research, you have a bigger coalition, you have globals, whatever it is. It's very limited thinking to be like, oh, this is a bad matchup, but we must 2v1 into it. It's a lot better to take efficient wars. Now, it's fun fighting, but yeah, I think this is like pretty bad play, I think. Like, I just don't think this is the right move. I think it's way better to just accept peace. Anyway, it's water under the bridge at this point. We are riding out. We're riding out into Oceania. Here is the formation we have come up with. Everything in here has been tested, fine-tuned, because this actually is a really hard fight. This army here is fucking scary as hell. I've only shown you the test game where we won. I didn't show you the hundreds of test games where we got demolished to a man and barely killed anything. And the thing is, I'm committing a huge part of my mage corps. So if I lose all my mages. I'm really fucked. I'm really like, I'm 100% all in here. That's why we're alchemizing gems. We're turning them into whatever the best spell we can cast is. And then there we go. So look at this. We're bringing illithids up here. Why on earth would I divide my army instead of combine it and bring more illithids, do more mind blasting and more chopping up of his troops? There's a simple reason. The simple reason is if we brought these illithids with us, we would actually be much more likely to lose. And the reason for that is because we've tested these numbers. This is about how many we can paint buffs on. If we don't paint buffs enough, like if we have too many unbuffed troops, like if these illithids here in the front, if they don't get enough buffs painted on them, and then they die to the lance charges, guess what happens? They run. If they run, guess what happens? I lose my whole mage corps. If my mage corps is dead, then everybody's going to rout. And I lose everything. What does that mean? It means I can't really lose many illithids on the front line. I have to keep almost all of them. How do I keep almost all of them? I can only have enough that I can cover in the buffs. Now, what are the buffs? We're doing Stone Skin. We've got 3 guys doing Stone Skin times 3 or 4. So I think we're doing in total 13 casts of Stone Skin. That's going to be enough to cover 26 tiles, which will get most of the illithids. But we also have a Barkskin caster casting Barkskin. I think I actually changed this. I think this is one like this. Casting Barkskin 5 times. So we're going to have Barkskin or Stone Skin on probably 80% of the guys. We're also casting Quickness on pretty much everybody. We should have enough Quickness to cover everyone. And then we've got a few people casting Body Ethereal. Now, Body Ethereal is going to do jack shit against the Aphori, but it's actually, these guys have a 17 damage lance. These guys have a 17 damage trident. So in some ways, these, except for the fact they don't get like Blood Surge and stuff, these guys are basically just as killy. And if we can take these guys out of the equation by doing Body Ethereal on a lot of our guys, we're going to be much less likely to reach that break point. I had tried a bunch of things. I tried what happens if we do Body Ethereal and cheat Fate? What happens if this guy does Moss Body instead of Barkskin? What happens if, these guys are doing something else like Strength of Giants or something? I feel like it's a little bit like, what's the Marvel guy? Doctor Strange, where it's like there's 1,000 futures and only like 2 of them or 1 of them actually like is a good outcome. And that's basically what I feel like we did with testing. There were so many options where I bombed. Like even this, if I just had to do it in the middle, I would lose. And also he did get his Dominion pushed here. There's 1 candle. So we're going to be fighting in hostile Dominion, which means I get a -1 morale penalty. This makes it so much harder. Like right now, these guys have pretty good morale at 12 because they're in friendly Dominion, but this is going to drop down to 10. They're going to be very easy to rout. This is a huge deal because once they rout, we're fucked. So, because I can't bring more illithids, because if I brought more illithids, I wouldn't be able to cover them all in buffs. And if I don't cover them all in buffs, then they'll rout. We have extra illithids. Where do those illithids go? They come up here. Now, these guys, we took this. I was thinking about raiding. I feel like this is a sort of predictable move. I think maybe I should have, but we just patrol here instead. I want to be pretty unpredictable, and there's a pretty good chance he sends a contingent of guys down here just to kind of casually raid. So we're moving these guys up here. We're sending the main squad, the main army. I'm a completely all in on this up here. These other squads are about as big as they need to be. If I have less here, then they're going to kind of crumple and die. And that's sort of the thing, is I have to have enough guys here that I can plan on some of them dying and the squad still holding. But I need few enough that everybody gets covered in buffs. And yeah, but I still need enough to kill things with reasonable economy. So anyway, it was pretty tricky. So I think that's it. We're moving the luggage train down here. These guys who had raided here, we're just going to go up here and raid on land rather than going here or here, which would, I think, be very risky. The gods moving down here, and I think that's about it. What's our siege strength? We got 142. We've had that for a couple turns now on Yes, I think, or maybe just 1 turn. No, 2 turns on yes. So there's probably 50 siege defense here. So we've probably got this down to 1,300, almost nothing. These fucking walls. And then once we have it broken, it's still going to be cancer to get through the walls. I mean, we can do it with body ethereal, but okay. I think that's about it for this turn, and that's going to mean it's also about it for this episode. So tune back in next time. We're going to have this big ride out. It's going to be a huge banger. Let's see if it pays off or if I'm completely fucked. All right, we'll see you guys then.